I really encourage you to be discerning who you are listening to, who you are investing your most precious resources with. And remember that your most precious resources, it's not just financial related. It's not just money. In fact, I would say that of the three things that I believe are your most precious resources, money is the last one. The two that are more powerful and more important than that are your energy and your time. So your time, energy, money, be discerning with how you're investing that with people in the spiritual space. You should be investing the most time and energy in your cultivation of your connection with your higher self and source. That's where you should be spending the most amount of time because you already have all the answers inside of you. This is Leah Steele, aka The Wealth Witch, and this is my podcast. I'm here to activate you to remembrance of your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. This podcast is for people ready to have controversial conversations about the financial control, manipulation, and tyranny that faces humanity today. I'm gonna live in freedom. The Wealth Witch. It's for the people who are ready to wake up, deconstruct their wealth programming, and free themselves from the financial slavery consciousness that serves the global financial agenda. I'm committed to realizing a new global wealth paradigm where economic freedom is the reality and where you get to design and live the life of your dreams. Now let's do the damn thing. Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Wealth Witch podcast. I am your host, Leah Steele, the Wealth Witch. So, wow, it's been a really interesting week. We just experienced Facebook Gate 2021. Yesterday, all of the Facebook companies went down. So Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Oculus were all down for, I think, somewhere around 6 or 7 hours in total, and then longer in other parts of the world. And so as I'm sitting here recording this podcast, I'm just sitting in a place of extreme gratitude for this other platform where I can reach my community and share my message, my ramblings, my musings with you all. So thank you for being here and being a listener of the Wealth Witch podcast. Make sure to follow if this is a podcast that you love and enjoy listening to. And as always, I welcome feedback, comments, suggestions. Love hearing topics that you would love to hear me riff on. So if you've got any of that goodness for me, send an email to media@theleahsteele.com. And we will take your comments, suggestions, feedback under advisement. Yeah. So, we're in a time in the world where humanity is in a major transition. We're at a crossroads, and more we're seeing this every day. And this division, this catechism that's happening inside of humanity just seems to get bigger and bigger. So while some people are waking up and realizing that they have to step into sovereignty and that they can't be living lives that are controlled and manipulated, and they're choosing lives of economic freedom, and they're choosing to really embody that they are the most powerful creators in their reality. On the other side of this divide, there are people that are going more and more to sleep. There are people that are complying and allowing themselves to be controlled and manipulated and encouraging the tyranny that's happening across the globe right now. And it's an interesting thing for me to reflect on. Obviously I've chosen the path of sovereignty. I've chosen the path of believing and embodying that I'm the most powerful creator in my reality. But I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't wake up some mornings extremely frustrated by the state of the world, extremely frustrated by, my brothers and sisters in humanity that can't see what's happening. And there's a big problem that I'm seeing that's happening right now that is adding to the confusion, that's adding to the distraction, and that's adding to the division. And unfortunately, it has to do with the spiritual community. The spiritual community, who is a group of people who actually should be helping the people that are asleep wake up, or should be empowering and cheering on the people who are awake. There's a large part of this community that is perpetuating slavery consciousness. And so I want to address some of these things today, because like I've said in previous podcasts, and like I say, all over the social medias, and anytime anyone gives me an opportunity to say anything about anything, I really truly believe that our path to sovereignty and our path to freedom is discernment. The development of and the pedestaling of spiritual gurus is a real debilitating factor in the ascension of humanity. Because what happens in those scenarios is that person, whether they're aware of it or not, their charisma, their popularity, does the same thing that our governments and financial institutions and organizations and regulatory bodies and agencies are doing to those that are asleep. They put them under a spell. They control and manipulate them. They get them believing that their way is the only way. They ask them to not question their beliefs, their prophecies, their scriptures, their, the word that comes through them from the divine. And I just really feel like this needs to be addressed. And I'm going to very clearly say that there are people in my community that pedestal me in this way as well. And so if you're one of those people, I really this is also a call out to you to say, I am only human. And yes, I spend a lot of time cultivating a conscious connection to my higher self and source. And yes, I came to this planet with gifts of prophecy. And yes, I came to this planet and along the way was able to develop my spiritual gifts so that I'm quite tuned in many of my clair senses. But I will never ask you to believe everything that I say. And if you do believe everything that I say, that should probably be a red flag for you, because I'm a human and I make mistakes and I am biased. And, my spiritual team and my ancestors see things through their lens of perception. And I see things through my lens of perception. Now, do I believe that I have a divine mission and that I'm here on this planet to end financial slavery consciousness, and I'm here to wake people up to the tyranny and manipulation and slavery that's happening across this planet? Yes. And do I believe I'm given information to help guide people through that? Absolutely. But as I always say, when it comes to dealing with me, when it comes to receiving my information, please take what serves you and leave the rest. And if there's something that doesn't resonate with you, just keep on going past that part. Don't take that on board. Don't anchor that in. And more than anything, have your own personal discernment. The thing I want you to do more than anything else is to develop your own conscious connection with your higher self and source. Because each and every one of us has the ability to receive the information that I receive. It comes from consistency and discipline and dedication and devotion to your personal practices and discernment. And so, hopefully what you get from me is empowerment and permission for you to think for yourself. and empowerment and permission for you to believe and trust yourself above all others, including me. Unfortunately, that's not the position of a lot of spiritual teachers, leaders, and gurus. They drink their own Kool-Aid. And as a result of that, they believe that their message is the message and that their way is the way and that there is no other way and everything else is wrong. And that is no different than what we're seeing play out on the global political stage. That is no different than the tyranny and manipulation that we're seeing all over the world. So I really encourage you to be discerning who you are listening to, who you are investing your most precious resources with. And remember that your most precious resources, it's not just financial related. It's not just money. In fact, I would say that of the three things that I believe are your most precious resources, money is the last one. The two that are more powerful and more important than that are your energy and your time. So your time, energy, money, be discerning with how you're investing that with people in the spiritual space. You should be investing the most time and energy in your cultivation of your connection with your higher self and source. That's where you should be spending the most amount of time because you already have all the answers inside of you. And yes, should you find people that inspire you to listen to? Absolutely. Should you find people that get you thinking and get you questioning things? Yes. Should you find people that make you think differently than you have, that challenge your beliefs, that trigger you, that make you question things that you always believed to be true? Yes, that is the purpose of a mentor, of a guide, of a teacher, to help you expand your consciousness. If you're looking for somebody that has something that you desire and that you believe has perhaps some tools or tips or hacks to help you get to the place that you're destined to go already a little bit faster, then absolutely, I say go for that. But don't forget along the way that you are the most powerful creator in your reality, that you are God, that you already have all the answers inside of you, that if you are here to achieve a destination, that you are going to achieve that destination regardless of whether you invest that $10,000 with that spiritual teacher or you buy that course or program from me or you go into that 7-day silent retreat. You have the ability to get there on your own. You don't need to be led. Now, I have lots of spiritual teachers that I work with. I have lots of mentors and guides that help me expand my consciousness. But I am very discerning in who I choose to be those guides. And I frequently come back to the space of reminding myself that those people are human and that they are flawed and that they make mistakes and they are not all knowing and all seeing and omnipotent, right? And spiritual teachers and guides, they get lost along the way. And so it's important to just remember our own power and to be sovereign and to make our own choices and to make our own decisions. So that's kind of the first part of it. And the second part is, along with that discernment comes a piece around self-responsibility and accountability. One of the things I see happening in the spiritual community all the time is a surrendering of power, giving our power away to somebody that we believe knows more than us, is more spiritually attuned, is more spiritually connected, is a divine channel, whatever it might be. We give our power away. And with giving our power away, we give away our self-responsibility and our self-accountability. This is a major problem. Because again, you are the most powerful creator in your reality. And if you are surrendering your power to something outside of yourself, then you are in a state of spiritual bypass. And this is the thing that I believe is the most dangerous thing that we're seeing in the spiritual community right now. So it's lack of responsibility for our own energy, our own vibration, our own frequency, and the surrendering of our power. And so this comes into play when we talk about, people saying that they're being, spiritually or psychically attacked, or that, they have entities or energies that are feeding off of them, or that they have entities or energies that have been sent to them from somebody else. So I'm not going to discount the fact that there are lots of different frequency and vibrational energies and entities that exist on a multidimensional level. Absolutely, I believe that there are. I also believe that if you are cultivating a conscious connection to your higher self and source, and if you are being ultimately responsible for your energetic field, that you don't get psychically attacked, you don't get spiritually attacked, you don't have an entity come into you or into your field or an energy feeding off of you unless there is an opening for that to happen. Now, sometimes the opening is that we don't know, that we haven't learned yet, that we haven't learned to manage our energetic fields, right? But I see a lot of this blame game happening in the spiritual community. And the thing that's really disturbing to me is it happens from leaders. So it's this leader is spiritually attacking this other leader, or this leader has an entity that's attacking this other spiritual leader. And, I call bullshit on that. And the reason I call bullshit on that is that if you are engaged in spiritual practices, particularly if you are taking plant medicines, and you are working with those types of ancient spirits, and energies, you better make damn sure that you are protecting your energy field. And you better make damn sure that you're being discerning in who you're allowing to serve you those medicines and enter into your energetic fields. Because if that's happening to you, it is because you have opened up something in your field. And this isn't intended for me to be like blaming people who have had really horrendous experiences happen to them with entities or energies. That's not the point. But the point is that starting right now from this moment, if you're listening to this podcast, taking responsibility for your own energy field, and not giving your power away, being accountable for your energy, being accountable for your energetic field, and being discerning for who you're allowing in and out of that field. The other piece of it is stepping out of the victim mentality of that a lot of spiritual people have around the powerlessness of the human in the hierarchy of the energies and entities of the multidimensional consciousness. Like, I just don't buy that shit. I really don't buy it. I really truly believe that you are the most powerful creator in your reality, and the things that come into your field, and even if something does come into your field, can be removed by you. Does that mean that you shouldn't go out and get help? No, but it does mean that you have the ability to do it on your own, because you are God. You are creator. You are all things, including that energy and that entity that you believe is spiritually or psychically attacking you. So this is about just taking our power back, taking back responsibility for the things that are happening in our physical, emotional, spiritual, energetic, and emotional bodies. So, because the other truth is that we can't bypass away cause and effect. We are living a human 3D experience, and we are, right now, at the level of consciousness that humanity is existing in on this planet, we are, I want to figure out how to say this, because I do believe you can ascend this, but for the most part, most humans are having to live in a reality where the universal laws of this planet exist. And one of those laws is cause and effect. Now, do I believe that it's possible to ascend 3, 4, 5D consciousness? Yes, absolutely. Because I believe that your physical body can be in one dimension and your consciousness can be in another dimension. But that's probably a podcast for another day. But we need to remember our universal laws on this planet. We need to remember those laws of cause and effect. We need to remember that we are having a human experience, that we are a divine immortal soul. Yes, surely, but we are also here to have a human experience. We are here to experience a 3D reality. And many spiritual people are trying to bypass that physical reality and that physical existence. And I do not believe that that's what we're here for. Do I believe that we're here to expand our consciousness? Absolutely. But we chose to come to this 3D planet, this third dimensional Earth, so that we could have a 3D experience. And so if we throw that away, or we're constantly challenged by or frustrated by or trying to get out of third dimensional consciousness, we've missed the plot, because we chose to incarnate here on this planet at this time. And many of us who have lived multidimensionally and lived many lifetimes chose to come here at this time because there was learning that needed to happen for us here. And I think it's important that we don't bypass that. So I think the last thing that I want to touch on briefly before I leave my spiritual rant here with you is people surrendering their power to their guides, to the messages from their guides. You are not on this planet to live a life of material or financial celibacy. And no spirit guide is going to tell you to do that. Why do I know that? Because your spirit guides give no fucks about how much money you have in the bank. Your spirit guides give no fucks about how much money you spend on shoes or dinner or your home. That is not what they are here for. They are here for your spiritual growth and expansion, and spirituality and materialism have nothing to do with each other. So if you're receiving messages from your guides that are telling you, oh, don't invest in that program, it's not in alignment right now. Don't spend any money. You should be in a period of financial celibacy. That's not your guides. That's your ego. That is fear. That is something trying to keep you playing small. Use discernment, even when it comes to the voices in your own head. And this is something that is, I think runs rampant through the spiritual community. We hear a voice in our head and we're like, oh, that's our guide. That's the guide telling us that, we shouldn't do that thing because it's out of alignment. We shouldn't take action right now because we need to rest. We should be living a life of financial celibacy for this year. We shouldn't be spending any money. Like bullshit. No guide is going to tell you that. Spending or not spending money, investing or not investing has nothing to do with your spiritual growth or expansion, period. Maybe an uncommon belief, but I said what I said. So check yourself. You really need to be discerning even with yourself and the voices you're hearing in your head. If it's about materialism, if it's about financial gain or financial undoing, your guides are not going to be directing you in that way. They are here for the evolution of your consciousness. They are here to guide you in a 3D experience. If anything, they would be telling you, yes, invest in that thing. Yes, do that. Yes, make that financial investment. They may be telling you, no, don't do that because that situation is financially, or not financially, but is emotionally or spiritually dangerous for you. That's something different. But using spiritual guides as a bypass for why you're not living a life of expansion, you really need to look at, are you operating truly from a place of ego or fear or spiritual guidance? Because the two can't exist together. And if there's some kind of negotiation taking place in your brain, it's not your fucking guides. It's fear and it's your ego. This is the thing that I get the most frustrated about, honestly, because I really feel like, again, this is a giving our power away. This is giving our power away to our guides. You are the most powerful creator in your reality. So rant over, but you are the most powerful creator in your reality. And it's time that all of humanity start acting accordingly. So I love you. That's it for this time. Remember, it's your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. And that includes financially. And no spirit guide would tell you differently. So be discerning in your choices. Be empowered in the living of your life. And remember that you are God and God is you, and you are the most powerful creator in your reality. I love you. That's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to connect with me on social media and reach out. I love hearing from you. And if you want more of me, real, raw, and uncensored, make sure to join the Wealth Witch Telegram channel. It's my free channel where I share all of my random daily musings as well as the information that I feel like is important and pertinent to my community. We've put a link to the Telegram channel in the show notes, so make sure to come join us over there if that intrigues you. Remember, wealth is a mindset, and you are the most powerful creator in your reality. Until next time, this is the Wealth Witch signing off.